Welcome back, all my Tech Mexers. It is Monday morning, and we have got a TV review / recommendation for you. I just barely finished watching The Rehearsal on HBO, episode 1. And oh boy, is it good. It's so good. Everyone needs to see it, cause it's so good.
Oh, he's technically Mexican and 3/4 American, but for 3 generations he's got that nationality. Great-great-grandpa headed south, whose kids had kids then turned around. It's not what the show's about, but it's why he's Mexican technically. He tells that he was raised in New Mexico, lived in Guadalajara for 2 years, speaks fluent Spanish with a bachelor's degree in language and makes taquito.
The Rehearsal is Nathan Fielder's new TV show, which is available on HBO Max. And if you've never heard of Nathan Fielder before, you are missing out. He had another TV show years ago called Nathan for You, which is also sweet perfection. His first show, Nathan for You, is fantastic, but he kind of had to stop doing it because he got too famous, and that show really relied on people not knowing who he was. Because what he would do in that show was a fake kind of reality TV show type thing where he would go in and give people business advice, but it was really bad advice, and he would try and convince them to do silly things. Like, for example, in the first episode, he gets an ice cream shop to do a promotion where they sell poop-flavored ice cream. It's really stupid, and on its surface, it doesn't sound very entertaining. But that was never what made the show great. What made the show great is that Nathan, in almost every episode, would continuously dive deeper and deeper into an esoteric rabbit hole of comedy. He would take a simple idea like that and just follow it to its most extreme end. And it's brilliant. If you haven't seen Nathan for You, I really don't want to spoil it, but it is one of the best comedies of all time. And it's been a while since that show ended, and I didn't even realize how much I missed Nathan Fielder's brand of comedy, because it is wholly unique. His humor is so weird and bizarre, and yet simultaneously incredibly relatable. It's really hard to explain. You kind of really just need to go watch it. He always becomes the butt of his own jokes, and while most of the episodes start off with him making other people uncomfortable, they always end with him being uncomfortable. And it's so good. Now, his new show, The Rehearsal. It aired Friday night, and I watched it the second it was out. And just judging by the first episode, it is just as good, if not better than Nathan for You. Now, this show is a little bit different. It has a very similar structure to his old show, where he's interacting with real people and getting them to agree to do silly things. But the new show is considerably more constrained. The entire premise of it seems to be just focusing on one person and a problem that they have, and jumping through all of the hoops and all of the extremes to solve that tiny problem. And in doing so, Nathan always creates more problems for himself, and it's brilliant. And that was always the case with Nathan for You, but there was also a lot of variety, because he would go to a bunch of very different businesses and try a lot of different crazy ideas. Now, with The Rehearsal, it's a lot more constrained, and at first I was worried about that, seeing the trailer, but after watching the first episode, I'm intrigued. I really want to see how far he can take this idea, because the constraint that he's given himself for this show almost brings out more of his creativity in ways I never would have imagined were possible. So the premise of the first episode is Nathan Fielder meets with a real person who has been lying to his friends for years. It was an innocuous white lie almost, where he told his friends he was getting a master's degree when in reality he was only getting a bachelor's degree, and he hasn't been able to come clean ever since because he wants his friends to think that he's smart. And the whole point of the episode is Nathan Fielder coaching this man through all of the infinite possibilities that could take place when he finally comes clean to his friend group. And thus, that is why it's called The Rehearsal, because his theory is that you can somehow plan for all of these possibilities and rehearse them and practice them with actors taking the place of your friends. And if you do that enough, you will know every possible outcome for how that conversation will take place. And that's what they do. The whole episode they spend coaching this guy into how to break the news to his friend and going through all of the possibilities. And then at the end of the episode, he does it for real. It's ridiculous. It's stupid, and it's hilarious. But at the same time, it is one of the most heartfelt things I've ever watched. Nathan Fielder has this incredible ability to do something so far-fetched and ridiculous that you're laughing your head off, and then flip the switch at a moment's notice, completely about face, and make you feel real feelings. Because he's dealing with real people. And that's what's so surprising about this show. It is a complete joke, and it's hilarious, but at the root of it, he's actually trying to help a real person. And he succeeds. At least in episode 1. I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the show, and I'm dying to find out. But this show is so genuine. He's actually helping this person. It's just in the most ridiculous way physically possible. It is almost impossible to talk about without spoiling the best bits. Words really cannot describe how good this show is. I don't know how to explain it to you. You just have to watch it for yourself. Because, I mean, in this episode, he basically pulls off Inception, but in real life. And it's amazing. I feel like I haven't explained how good this show is, because it's impossible to explain. It's like an inside joke. You kind of just had to be there. And basically, to explain to you how good the show is, I would have to spoil the whole thing. And I don't want to do that. So please, just go watch The Rehearsal. You'll laugh. You might even cry. But I guarantee you'll feel something. And it will make you happy. Because Nathan Fielder is a comedic genius. I am definitely going to be watching every episode the second that they come out, because I am literally on the edge of my seat, just waiting to see what happens next. So, peace out.